Mr. Grinch, you really
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of Good Day. Well, these days, holiday shopping puts you in the sights of cyber criminals. Jason Cook is here to talk about the next level of protection, some things you may not have thought about to keep your personal information safe. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Jason is the Vice President of Security for the telecommunication company BT. All right, one thing you tell folks, a very practical thing to consider, rethink your passcodes, but also even your security questions, you know, the name of your first pet, that kind of...
Yeah, absolutely. Those were raised as sort of additional questions just to prove who you were. But these days, hackers can get to all that information because that's typically the information that you've put out on social media. So our advice is, if you're asking for your mother's maiden name, for example, then put something else in. It doesn't matter. They're not actually validating what your mother's maiden name was.
Okay. And again, what about, passwords? What do you...
So passwords, there's all sorts of tips and tricks about making them secure. Don't obviously do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't do your date of birth. The simple things, don't have the same password for every account. What we call our security hygiene basics.
Okay, you're shopping online and you say you've got to be careful. You got to make sure that if you see a brand name for a product that it is in fact the real product.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So scammers these days are very, very sophisticated in emulating the real brands that are out there. So, our best advice is really just take a step back. If you see an offer coming from a well-known brand that looks great, it probably is too great to believe, but always go and validate with the main store's website and double check that actually they're promoting the same offer from their main website, for example.
Okay, avoid using a debit card. Why?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say avoid using a debit card, but one thing I would say in the security business, we always use a phrase about layering your security. So if you're making a lot of online purchases, especially at a time like this, then consider using PayPal, for example, where you put your accounts behind PayPal. You may also perhaps just get a special credit card that you just prepay and use, $500, $1,000 for things that you're going to buy at a special time and event, so that if that particular information is actually compromised, then you're just losing out on that rather than exposing your whole personal account details.
So credit cards better than debit cards, but the best is one of these paying services.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
PayPal. Okay, the most hackable holiday gifts. This is anything with an IP connection. So in other words, be careful with these things.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of reports have just come out. Literally, about 70% of Internet of Things devices, these are the things, the gadgets that you wear, like the latest fitness tracking gadgets, some of the toys that you now get that you can buy for children, they all have an internet connection. Even the White House is now asking us to review all of the security around those because none of it is safe. So completely revise and think about all of those devices and be careful about your personal information that you're tying to these devices.
All right, and another thing to think about, be careful with mobile shopping apps, I guess because some can be fake and they'll try to lift your personal information. All right, Jason Cook with BT, we sure appreciate the helpful information. And you're not saying don't shop online, just
be aware.
Be aware of the potential hazards. Okay.